Alrighty, good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming back to us. My name is Ali Cantu, and I'm a registered dietitian here with the Chef program. And thank you again for coming to cook with us here at the San Antonio Foodbank in our teaching kitchen for today. So I know last time we talked about, we finished up our diabetes management program in October. We also did a little fun activities for Halloween last time too. And so now as we're getting into the holiday season, I wanted to talk a little bit about some holiday swaps and switches that we can do, some healthy versions of some of our regular foods that we like to eat. But what are you excited about for this holiday season? Anyone? We could start over here, I guess. Spending time with family. I love it. It's always good. Yeah, always a great time. Some new traditions. I like it. The food. I know. Right? The food is always my favorite part, especially getting to spend time with family, cooking in the kitchen often. So today we're talking a little bit about the holiday season, and I have a presentation we'll go through today, but calling it Eat, Drink, and Be Merry, because that's the season that we're getting into. So as we embrace the holidays, I have just a few topics we're going to talk about. So talking a little bit about food guilt and throwing that out the window. We're also going to, again, eat, drink, and be merry. And what does that mean during this season? I'll talk a little bit about food safety, just because that is a big concern, especially around Thanksgiving. And then I'll share some of our recipes, and we'll get cooking from there. But it'll be pretty quick and fun today. So feel free to ask any questions as we go along, too. So with the holiday season, this is our goal. Our goal is to find the happy medium, that smiley face in the middle of between fullness and satisfaction. So I know, especially with the huge display of spreading of food, whether you're with family, with friends, doing a Friendsgiving, the happy medium is to enjoy and have that satisfaction piece, but also recognizing where that fullness leads to and where we're at with that. So food guilt. Food guilt, I feel, we'll hear a lot of diet talk around this time where you'll hear someone say, oh, I've been good today, I can eat a salad, or I can eat that extra dessert, or something like that. I know we've all been guilty about it at one point or another, but we want to throw that right out the window, especially because this season is a time to enjoy, like we're saying, being around family and friends and not thinking of food in that sense. So oftentimes we may have this idea or rule, we have to eat the veggies first, and then we can eat anything else. Now, we did talk a little bit about in our diabetes series why some of the benefits we should eat the veggies first. And again, it helps to manage our blood glucose levels, but we don't always have to start with that. Another way to look at when we're eating is, what is the food that you're looking forward to? So I know you're saying you're looking forward to eating that one food. I know we all have a recipe or a dish, family tradition. If that's the food you're looking forward to, then enjoy it, and that's the food to eat first, or whatever brings you that joy and that happiness. I'm not always thinking like, I have to be good, or I have to essentially follow some type of prescription or rules when eating. 2, you don't have to lighten up your favorite food. So oftentimes you may see like a no-fat or non-fat type of food, which there are benefits to that. But if it's your favorite food and that's what you're looking forward to, go for the full fat or for the full sugar. So that way you get the satisfaction piece with it, and not always, which I know, you may be thinking, why is a dietitian telling me to eat all the fat? And so it's not specifically to eat all the fat, but to think of what is your favorite food, and you don't always have to create or cut down on your favorite recipe or have to go and change it just for the health benefit. Do also to what makes you happy in that sense. So again, that idea of ditching the food guilt, we're talking about too, you don't have to skip meals before or after. So we talked a lot about this in our diabetes class and in the diabetes management. oftentimes when we know like we have that big Thanksgiving brunch or the big dinner at the end, don't skip the meal before and even after. Listen to your body and to its cues. And we want to, again, the regular times that we eat keeps us pretty consistent instead of going high spikes or low drops, especially long hours when we're not eating. It'll leave us in a deficit oftentimes with our blood sugar levels. But again, we want to keep a nice consistency. So don't skip. Be sure you're eating a full day. And then we're saying that diet talk again. Little emoji girl just saying, nope, that's not what we're trying to promote with this season. We don't want to think about, I have to work out or I have to be active in order to eat my Thanksgiving feast. Or no, thank you, I'm trying to be good. We're essentially don't want to put value to our food. It nourishes us and it's good for us. It's part of the holiday tradition, right? We're just being more mindful as we go through it too. So listening to our body and intuitively eating is a big part of this season. So again, if you're hungry, that's a time to enjoy your food. And again, try to balance it out like what we talked about in our last series, but still enjoy your food. It's there for a reason. So I just want to encourage that too. Don't think of it in that sense that food equates to good or bad. It is fuel for our bodies, and that's the way we want to look at it. So again, that eat, drink, and be merry. Enjoy your holiday favorites. What are some of your favorite dishes or favorite foods that you're looking forward to? Cornbread dressing? Ooh, that sounds great.
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese? Classic. Pumpkin pie.
Nana's cheesecake.
Ooh, wonderful. Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. I'm getting hungry now just thinking about this. Again, those leftover Thanksgiving sandwiches, I'll talk a little bit about food safety in all of this. And so we'll want to enjoy the food that we're eating, right? And speaking of the food, enjoy also that time with family and friends. So what are some of your favorite ways to spend with your family or friends this season? What are any traditions, anything that you like to do? I know for me, my family, we have a tradition of going to the corn maze out in Hondo, and we go usually either the weekend before, the weekend after Thanksgiving, and we're out there in the cold, but it's always fun. We like to scare each other, but we're enjoying just being together out in the corn maze. So that's one of our family traditions. We started when I was really little. Any traditions that y'all enjoy? Decorating? I know, it's perfect time. Do you decorate for fall or also for Christmas? Both? Love it. Anyone else? Well, just some things to think about, whether you're doing either a Friendsgiving or maybe you can coordinate with family or friends to do a cookie swap. If you make some cookies at home, come together and share different either recipes or different cookies. And even you could also spend some time decorating those cookies together too, or decorating the house like you said. So enjoying those holiday traditions. If it's either baking or watching the holiday movies, I love getting to turn on the Hallmark Channel, starting to watch those, or even listening to the holiday radio. So again, focusing on those pieces is a really great way to just enjoy the season and not think about the food component of it as much, or not elating it too much. And then lastly, enjoying some favorite movement. So if it's like walking out in a cold weather, or playing with family or friends, maybe going for a bike ride, just enjoying the movement, and again, not thinking of it that you have to do it, but just enjoying to be active and moving at that time. So for food safety again is a big concern within Thanksgiving, and just some pieces to talk about. So keep clean. About 1 in 6 Americans get foodborne illnesses each year, and the way you can prevent foodborne illnesses is by keeping clean. So always washing your hands, always sanitizing and cleaning the area that you work in is key, again, to just preventing those foodborne illnesses if you're cooking this season. Just some ideas. Does anyone make a turkey at home? Or see working with family that's making a turkey at home? Maybe? No? Maybe? Okay. Well, if you are, defrost with care is the tip here. So leaving a turkey out to defrost on your countertop can be dangerous, again, causing those bacteria and foodborne illnesses to thrive in that setting. So what we'll want to do instead is allow for 24 hours for every 4 to 5 pounds of turkey, and that's what if you're thawing it out in the refrigerator. So if you have a 10-pound turkey, then you want to leave it in the fridge for at least 2 days, and to move it from the freezer into the refrigerator, leave it there for 2 days before you even plan on cooking it. And then another method you could do is having it run under, or have it completely submerged in running water. And you'll want to do every 30 minutes for every pound of turkey. So again, that 10-pound turkey, we want to have it in that our water or in our sink for at least 5 hours. And switch out the water, so it have to go in there, fish out the drain, and then refill it back up if you have it in the sink. Every 30 minutes, we're wanting to kind of rotate it out. So if you're looking for a little bit of convenience, maybe putting it into the refrigerator is the way to go. To separate and stay safe. So can anyone look at the picture and just tell me if something looks off or wrong or maybe a concern here? Yeah, the meat's right next to the veggies. So this, again, is a no-go. We want to, again, that idea of separate and stay safe is that we want to keep all of our raw food products, have its own cutting board and own knife, or wash it in between working. And then always keep the food that is not going to be cooked. So if it's going to be veggies, that like today, we're just having our kale salad straight, then we don't want to have any raw ingredients next to it if it is going to be that way. So again, just that separate and stay safe. And then love those leftovers. I know I love leftovers. I sometimes will do that turkey sandwich after, or maybe you make a soup. I do a turkey tortilla soup after sometimes too. And so the idea with that is we want to keep our leftovers no more than a week out. 5 days to 5 to 7 is usually the range that we can keep it. And one way to keep it, or a good method, is always write the date that it was made. So if someone made the turkey the night before Thanksgiving, then if you take some home, write the date that it was the day before. 2, try to only warm up your leftovers one time. And we want to get it hot enough so that it's not in the temperature danger zone. That zone is usually 40 to about 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So we want to warm it up higher than that. Or 2, only one time. So if we warm it up multiple times, there's a greater chance for that bacteria to be in our food. And again, cause some foodborne illnesses. We want to stay away from those. So just some takeaways for today, where there's the ditching that food talk and thinking about what brings us joy during this season. And then 2, staying safe throughout the season, especially in the kitchen, is some easy ways to have a good time, making sure you're having a good time and not having to go to the hospital or worrying about a stomach bug or anything like that. But here are some of our chef holiday favorites. We have a twisted guacamole in that first picture. We also have a cucumber and feta salad. And then we have the salad that we're going to make today, which is our pomegranate kale salad. There. We have a chocolate bark in the first picture. So something, again, takes a little bit of prep. You can put it into the freezer and have it set and ready to go, which we'll be able to taste hopefully next time. And then we have I believe that's a kiwi and strawberry salad, and then our little tartlet as well. And some beverages. We have infused water. That's our strawberry basil infused water. One of our agua frescas. It's a watermelon base is the second picture. And then that third picture is our banana smoothie. So just some ideas. I did give you a handout today. It has our QR code, so if you use your phone's camera, it'll take you straight to our website, and you can look for more recipes there, but I included some on that handout for today. So now that we've gone over our nutrition piece and a little bit of the presentation, let's get cooking. So today we're gonna make our pomegranate kale salad. And I wanted to add some variation to it. So here I have some garbanzo beans that I just went ahead, drained and rinsed. And I'm gonna do this for everybody today since we only have one oven. And I'm just gonna lay them out here. There we go. So the aim for today is to make some crunchy garbanzo beans. And then I also have a little bit of extra flavor and color with our sweet potatoes. So I got a bag that's already washed, ready to cook, that's all washed, chopped for me, work is taken away, and it was about the same price as just getting a regular, I believe like pack of 4 sweet potatoes. So I'm gonna add these here as well. I was like, I do love the minimal of not having to cut it myself. Quick and easy, and I'm just gonna season with a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper, and throw it into the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And as we cook today, it'll be roasting. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of pepper, and then some salt. So with this, I'm gonna do just a pinch of salt. I'm gonna use my gloves to help. What was that? I know. Oh, sea salt. The iodized salt. Versus, so like you're saying, sea salt, you can definitely taste the flavor of the salt a little bit more. And salt in itself is aimed to bring out the flavor of everything that it's on. So iodized salt, there is a benefit in having iodine with it. We do want to make sure that we are getting iodine, and usually in our American diet, we are getting a good source of iodine. But in some countries, if they don't have enough iodine, that's where we can see a deficiency, and then even leading sometimes to some thyroid concerns as well. Iodine helps to create thyroid hormones. And so if we don't have enough, again, it can lead to some hormone issues, as well as even causing a goiter. So if you have like hyperthyroid. So I'm just gonna, the sea salt, yeah, versus regular. Whatever you prefer, I think, and whatever you'll, like you're saying, maybe use, okay. I think that's wonderful. Yeah, using more herbs and spices is a great way to bring out the flavor. So ideas on how would you make your sweet potatoes? Would you add any other seasonings?
Pretty much kind of like the way that you make a pie, except for I wouldn't use like this or anything like that. But I just use like some pumpkin spice, butter, and
A lot of butter.
I mean, not a lot of butter, but just like a little pat of butter. I mean, I would like open up the potato after I cook it, and then I put the butter in there, and then I put the other seasonings on top, and you can mix them up, as you're eating it. So
Oh yeah.
that's how I would do it, and everyone loves it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, instead of just cinnamon and butter, but I use this other seasonings because it tastes like sweet potato.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. One recipe I just recently saw too, and I've been meaning to try it with sweet potatoes, is to use the tahini that we used last time. If you remember, we made the hummus with tahini. I have a jar of it at home for making the hummus, and I'm like, what do I do with the rest? Tahini on the sweet potatoes is another great, again, savory, a little bit of a different flavor. It gives it more of a buttery texture too. Wonderful, another alternative to go with it. Yeah. So now we're gonna make our salad dressing for today. So in your bowl we have our a fourth of a teaspoon of salt, and then half a teaspoon of ground black pepper. And we're gonna make our salad dressing. So into it we have our orange, and the orange we're gonna squeeze because we want the orange juice out of it. So we're gonna squeeze the orange and squeeze the lemon into our bowl to get that juice. Ooh. A little bit of citrus, and we're also getting that vitamin C from our orange juice today, from our citrus. Oh, okay. So we got the orange, and then I'm gonna do our lemon. And it's good, and a trick with the lemon, so that way you can prevent the seeds, is hold it inside out with your hand. So with the rind to the outside, and then holding it like this inside and squeezing inside your hand. So you'll catch all the lemon seeds. So that's where these gloves come in handy. Ooh, yes, we have bigger gloves. There you go. No, that's okay. Let's see. Oh, Leslie, do you mind passing these over? Thank you. I think those are largest. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so now that we're building, we have a lot of citrus in our spices. We're gonna add some olive oil. It's gonna be, again, our base to help mix into our salad dressing. So this is 2 tablespoons of olive oil. We'll mix that straight in. And then, now that we have that, we're gonna chop some of our parsley. So on your tray, you have some parsley, fresh parsley, and this is a flat leaf. What we're gonna do is we're gonna chop it up and add it into our salad dressing, and then we'll mix it all together. So here, I'm gonna go ahead and just cut the stems off of our parsley. Again, with the knife, the best way to hold it, we're gonna pinch the top and the top of the blade with our thumb and our pointer finger. And then the rest of our fingers are gonna curl underneath. So just like this. We're gonna do a rocking motion, and the best way to do it is we don't want the tip of the blade to leave the cutting board. So if you can see here, and I'm gonna just bunch up all of our parsley together, and then I'm gonna finely chop it. The best way to prevent from losing a finger this morning, because I don't want to see that happen. Again, using our claw technique, and I'm going to use the claw to guide. So if you can see here, I'm guiding my knife with my my middle finger of my left hand. And this is just because I'm right-handed, so I'm holding the blade with my right hand, guiding with my left hand. And again, since the blade is not coming off, the top of the blade is not coming off of the cutting board, I can guide a little bit easier, and I know that it's not gonna cut me. And this is our claw technique. I know we've talked about it in the past, but our claw technique is designed to give an homage to some Toy Story fans out there, but then too, we're just helping to protect our fingertips. So we're curling everything underneath, and it's easier to think of it as a claw. Or a food processor would be great with this too. There you go. So depending on how fine you want your parsley, I did a rough chop so I could still see a little bit of the leaves still in it. And now I'm going to add it directly in to my mixture. Ooh, if you have that issue, the best way to do it is to grab right here at the bottom. So you'll want to grab the black part at the bottom, There you go. And then go straight down with the sleeve of the knife. So now if you have your parsley all cut up and ready to go, I can definitely smell it just a little bit more now. Instead of scraping, I know oftentimes we'll scrape like this, and this is a quick and easy way to cut our hand or cut our fingers. So the best way to do it is, again, if you have a scraper, a flat edge, you can use it this way, or you could also just kind of use your fingers and your hands to help scrape. But now that we have it all mixed, we can go ahead and mix it up all together. And we're getting our salad dressing prepared. So the faster that you can whisk it together, the better. And that's because we're emulsifying. Emulsifying is the acid and the fat are mixing together so that the fat droplets are divided and they're smaller. So we're getting a full consistency of a salad dressing. And before we mix it, just take a quick smell. What is the first thing you smell? Olive oil?
Yes.
Any citrus? I smell some orange. That's the first thing I smell. The orange?
Oh, now I smell.
Yeah. Stick your nose in deep. Maybe you'll smell it. So I love getting just to smell. It's very fresh. Getting our citrus in, and then the parsley too. I love the parsley mixed in.
So you know how you can get those infused olive oils, like the garlic, the lemon?
Yes, infused olive oils. Is that something do you do it at home or do you make it at home?
No, I just buy it.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
But I buy it.
And
I put it on pretty much
everything?
Garlic, olive oil,
Oh, yeah.
infused olive oil.
Uh-huh.
They have avocado, sunflower oil. I tried that.
Ooh, okay. Wonderful. So one way you can make an infused olive oil at home is if you get your jar of olive oil, or if you transfer it into like a pour jar, you can use either way, and then put your herbs directly into the jar before you pour it in. Or you can pour a little bit out of a container like this and then push your herbs into it. It is a little bit cheaper if you have a jar at home. Mm-hmm. And then let it sit for a few days and you'll get the flavor nice and deep.
It's almost like $8.
Oh gosh, yeah. I gotcha. Yeah, just in case if you're wanting to try it at home, another tip. So has anyone heard of massaging your kale before?
Does that taste sweet?
I just clean it.
You just clean it?
Even like the ones in the bag, I soak
Yeah.
it with water.
Yes,
I'm just so weary about so much stuff, you know.
I gotcha. Definitely an extra clean.
They have the vegetable stuff that you can soak in.
Uh-huh.
But also, where you can like in baking soda
Uh-huh.
and soak it and hurt.
You can, definitely, yes. So with this, actually massaging the kale is going to help to break down the tartness. Yeah, then some of the tartness or the stringent flavor in our kale. So what we're going to do, what I did first, and this kale, because it's already pre-chopped for us, we don't have to worry about it, but taking out the main stem. This is very tough. It's difficult to eat this. There's lots of great fiber. You can keep it, and if you saute your kale first, that helps. But just going through your kale and pulling out any of these hard pieces, because we're not cooking today. So that's the first step I'm doing. And this is why we have the gloves too. So that way, I know it's gonna get a little messy, but it'll be hopefully a little bit easier. We're gonna pour our salad dressing into our kale, and then we're gonna massage the kale. So break it down. The acidity and the olive oil is gonna help so that it's not as stringent. I'm just gonna pour it all in. And this is gonna be our base for our salad today. Okay. This is a fun part about the cooking. We're just massaging our kale. Again, you can go a little bit at a time. You can even physically see it sometimes like change. Sometimes it looks like a little bit of a white or ashy color, and then as you massage, you can see, especially with adding olive oil, it starts to change color just a little bit. Mm-hmm. Ooh. as we're massaging, we're blending those great flavors of our homemade salad dressing. Again, too, getting some, with kale, vitamin C in today. And I'm sorry, vitamin K in, we're getting, which is wonderful. And vitamin K it's a fat-soluble vitamin, so we need a vehicle so that the vitamin can help be absorbed. That vehicle today is our olive oil. Yes. Oh, yeah. Makes it taste better. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. So this, today, we did just about a cup and a half or so of kale. But yeah, you could do a huge bowl. We got a 32-ounce bag, so there's plenty of kale to go around if you want more. With that, okay, now I'm going to take off my gloves as we move into topping our salad today. The best part, I know, topping the salad. I love it. So I'm going to set this aside. Alrighty. So on our plate, we have a few extra things. So we have another healthy fat with our avocado. We have a tiny baby beet because I wanted to add some color and some flavor. So beets, anyone a fan of beets or not a fan of beets? I know we talked about it last time. Wonderful. So this one is just a canned beet. We're going to cut it up nice and fine today. So I'm going to go ahead and grab our beet next. And I'm going to just give it a quick dice. With our dice, again, we're going long ways, one direction, slicing, and the best way, lengthwise, the best way, we want to get a flat surface. So if your beet is a little rolly, you can cut it one way and then lay it flat, straight down the way that you cut it. So this is just a little flavor to add to our beets. Once you cut it one direction, we're going to cut the other another into smaller slices. Again, using that claw technique with this one. And two, as Leslie and I were preparing for this morning, we said, well, we got just a can of already. Well, we could have gotten the sliced beets, but I want to practice our cutting today. And so these beets, they were already, again, peeled for us, which was wonderful, and canned. You can use that juice that it comes in and make a like a smoothie with the beets itself. It is. It's great for that heart health. Great also to help oxygenation or getting oxygen to our muscles. It helps a lot. Ooh, I saw you taste it back there, Jose. What'd you think? Very tart. Oh. And saucy? Ooh, gotcha. Okay. I did. So I cut it into slices, and then once I had it in my slice, I turned it 90 degrees, and I'm dicing it. So just making it into a small square. Oh, yes. So now it's a small little piece. Sometimes you'll see these at salad bars, these are just fresh canned. Mm-hmm. You can do pickled. I love adding extra pickle. Speaking of, I know last time we talked a little bit of maybe like the gut microbiome. If we get pickled beets, that pickle actually has, it helps us with managing our gut microbiome, which is the bacteria in our gut, helps keep it a little bit more balanced. Yeah, you said yum with the gut bacteria. Yes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and scrape it and add it right on in. And if you're not a fan of beets, we have some other colors today to help add into it, but just adding some beets because of the color. And then I'm gonna cut up my avocado next. So I'm actually gonna keep it in its skin, in the rind, and then I'm gonna cut straight into it, and then I'm gonna scrape out directly from it. Again, if we remember, Diane last time said the benefit of the avocado, lots of those wonderful fat soluble vitamins are going to be close to the skin. So we want to get to as close to the skin as possible. Don't leave anything behind. So I'm going to cut first this way. Let me clean off my knife. There you go. So I'm going to cut and make some small pieces for my avocado. And then these avocados were massive. So I'm also, as I'm cutting first into smaller pieces, I'm going to cut once down the middle to make smaller diced or smaller pieces of avocado. There we go. And these were pretty ripe as well, so the skin sometimes can just peel right off. Let's see if I can try it. Ooh, almost. Now I'm just going to kind of turn it inside out like this, and I can peel it directly off as I turn it inside out. And these were pretty ripe. Sometimes unripe avocados, you'll really have to scrape the insides out. There we go. I'm going to put this over here. All right, I'm trying to kill some time as our chickpeas continue to crisp up. How are we doing? Good? Awesome. And then, what do we, oh, avocado? Not a fan of avocados? No? That's okay. And that's okay too. What we say, we always call it a respect bite, that first taste, the first time. Even as adults, we talk about it with kids when they're never tried a food before. But even as us as adults, sometimes our flavor and our taste buds will change. Exactly. It can warp a little sometimes. I know it was a big concern throughout COVID. People lost their sense of taste. And so as we go through life, it's always great to do that respect bite, to give it like you did right now. You did your respect bite, you tasted it, and we call it respect bite because we are honoring the farmers that helped to grow it. We're honoring also everyone that helped get it from the farm to the grocery to our table, everyone that paid for it today. And so that's our respect bite. But again, too, if it's not to our flavor, not to our taste, that's okay. But again, those taste buds can change over time. So just something. Mm-hmm.
Bitter sensitive to salt and like sweet.
And okay.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I just feel like my taste buds really, really changed.
Mm-hmm. So it's almost like exploring food all over again and what tastes good to you or not.
Did anyone else experience that? Okay.
No. Gotcha. So just to finish up some of our toppings, we have pomegranate seeds. We have a tablespoon of pomegranate seeds, again, to add some more color. And then we have walnuts as well, chopped walnuts. We're adding this directly in too, just to give it.
And did you see these or?
I bought them seeded. I was wanting to seed today with everybody. Have y'all done that before, of actually opening up a pomegranate and de-seeding it? Yes. It is. It does take some time, which we can maybe try next time when we meet together. Though there's different techniques out there. Definitely takes a little bit of work.
Oh, that's right. You should make pomegranates in a little container.
I did. I got a container of pomegranates. It was a cup or 8 ounces of pomegranates, and it went pretty far with us today. So now I'm going to just give a quick toss to our salad. Alrighty. And then I'm going to check on our roasting vegetables so that way we can see where we're at. Let's see. Woo! Both of them. Okay, let's do it. Alrighty. Okay. So here are our roasted garbanzo beans, our chickpeas, and our roasted sweet potatoes. So another way, and the goal, I know today we're ready to eat, so I won't wait too much longer, but you can leave the garbanzo beans in the oven or use an air fryer, and that'll give it a nice crunch. And the crunch is just to add, today we're adding some different textures, and so as we go through and once we layer up our salad, we could go through and talk about the different textures. And also the difference between warm versus like cold salads. I know especially with it being a little bit more or a little bit warmer right now in San Antonio, we are a little bit colder. We want something warm in the kitchen. So this is a great way to have a warm salad, and we're still getting lots of our veggies in. These were for 20 minutes, but you can put them in an air fryer or the oven. And I would say for the chickpeas to get nice and crunchy, about 40 minutes or more would be great.
So those are chickpeas or garbanzo?
Both. It's you can use the same name, or
It's the same thing.
it means the same.
I don't eat either one.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, yeah, it's the same. You could say chickpeas or garbanzo beans. But this is our salad, and finish it up. And so as we finish up for today, and I'll come around and with our veggies, this is what we have all mixed together. And before I forget, we also got some quinoa to make it a complete full meal. These are packs. We can put them for 90 seconds in a microwave and then add it to our salad. So we have completely balanced out. We have some great protein from our quinoa, great protein from our garbanzo beans. Then we have lots of great healthy fats. We talked about those. Which ones were the fats today that we added in? Avocado, and the olive oil for sure too that we use as our dressing. And then lastly, we have our carbohydrates. Our carbohydrates, which are going to be our sugars. We got some kale. It's going to be pretty low in carbohydrates, but also our sweet potatoes. Do you remember what category that falls into? Does it? It's a veggie. Starchy, yes. We said starchy and non-starchy veggies. So that is another. Again, we're adding some of our starch, our carbohydrates. So we got a good mix of all three in here, kind of making it a well-rounded plate with that idea of getting carbohydrates, proteins, and fats all in one. Beets will fall under it, since it's a vegetable, it is a root vegetable. So my understanding would be it's starchy, or on the starchier side. But two, we got some of that citrus. The citrus is going to have our fructose, the sugars from fruit too. So we got a good mix of flavors, and then now we're going to add some warmth to it as well. So we get the cold and the warm all mixed into one. But this is it for today. Do you have any questions about our holiday swaps or our holiday healthy versions? Do you like it? Yes, I'm adding some great color, and I'll come around now too with our sweet potatoes. And if anyone wants to try the quinoa, we can warm it up as well.